Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to give you guys an exciting update because as of August 28th, I had my 1-year anniversary of my surgery, or my 1-year Surgiversary. So I'm so excited to report to you guys how I've done over this past year. I cannot believe it has been a whole year. I have lots of updates. There again, I cannot believe I'm sitting here filming my 1-year anniversary video. It just has flown by, as always. Time does, but it's crazy to think about. So let's just jump right in, and I will give you guys all the details of this past year and where I'm at right now. So my highest weight before my surgery and before my pre-op diet and all of that stuff was 231 pounds, and I'm 5'1". I had my surgery in Knoxville, Tennessee with Dr. Boyce at New Life Center for Bariatrics. I cannot recommend them highly enough. They were wonderful. They are wonderful. They're so caring and just sweet, and I didn't have to wait very long for my appointments, and just really all around it was a great experience with them, and still is, because I do have other appointments coming up with them, but I'm very happy with them as a group that does this surgery. So my goal weight, and I just randomly came up with this number. My surgeon didn't give this to me. Nobody gave this to me. Basically, at my surgeon's office, they asked me, well, what do you want your goal weight to be? And that is 125 pounds. When I told my dietitian that during my last appointment a while ago, she said that sounds like a good idea. She said she wouldn't go too much lower than that. That should be kind of at my lowest. If I go lower than that, I don't mind. It depends. Of course, I don't want to go too much lower, but if I go lower than that, it is what it is. But we'll kind of see where I end up going. My goal for myself was to get to my goal weight within a year. That is not a requirement. You know, you can meet your goal weight years after your surgery. It doesn't have to be at the 1-year mark and you've met your goal. That was kind of a goal for myself. But these last few months, we have been moving. We sold our house. We have moved. We've done all kinds of things. And while I haven't been going insane with eating or anything, I also haven't been super strict. The biggest thing that I've noticed that makes my weight loss come to almost a complete halt is if I eat quite a bit of carbs. And so my surgeon recommends I stick to 60 carbs a day, where I'm at right now. Or that was the last recommendation I got. And I've noticed if I go quite a bit above 60 carbs, which is really easy to do, of course, because 60 carbs is not that much. I mean, I think I said this in a previous video possibly, but 1 serving of pretzels I think is like 25 carbohydrates, depending on which pretzels you're eating. So, you know, it's kind of difficult to stick to that 60 carbs. When you're first getting started with this surgery and everything, I used to think, how in the world am I going to get 60 carbs? You know, when you first start the process, it's hard to get up to those carbs. But as you get on through time, and you start to be able to tolerate things and eat pretty much, or me anyways, I can eat pretty much whatever I want. I can't sit down and have a whole plate of it, but in small amounts, I can eat pretty much whatever I want. Which is good and bad. Of course, there's really big pros and cons to that, but so I really try to limit my carbs is the biggest thing I try to limit. And I haven't been super strict about that over the past few months. So I keep saying every day, I'm like, oh, I'm going to jump back on it. I'm going to jump back on it. I'm going to track my food, because I think that's the biggest thing to weight loss, is tracking your food. So I'm working on getting back onto that. I am losing again now, but there for a while, my weight just kind of crept, you know, but really, as you get further out, it does kind of creep down. Instead of losing so fast, it does come to a point where it doesn't come off so fast. So I'm doing well. I just wasn't super proud of some of the food choices I made, but you know, I know we're not all perfect, so I don't beat myself up too badly about it, but enough to make myself want to do better. So as of this morning, my weight was 130.4. So officially, and that's the lowest I've been so far. So I've lost officially 100 pounds, which is that's exciting. That's a big milestone in my opinion. I cannot even believe that I have lost 100 pounds. And no, I'm not at my goal weight. I'm 5 pounds away from it though, so I'm not too worried about it. I'll get there when I get there. Honestly, being at this size right now, I could stop right here. I kind of wanted to keep going though, just a little bit, to give myself a little bit of a buffer. That way, if a couple pounds pile back on, I can come back. Or I want to be on the low side of where I'd like to be. That way, if it creeps up a bit, I give myself a little wiggle room. So I'm still going to shoot for that 125, but it can take as long as it wants to come off the rest of it, because I'm very happy with where I'm at right now. So I don't talk a ton about NSVs. I haven't done a ton of these monthly updates, but I've had so many NSVs along the way. And just in case you aren't familiar, an NSV is a non-scale victory. So it's a victory of losing weight without losing those pounds. And there are so many that I've had along the way. As you can imagine, getting 100 pounds off, it's insane. But just to name a few, the clothing size that I'm in, it's like shock and disbelief every time I go to hold these tiny little clothes up, and I'm like, these are not going to fit me. Like, it's shocking to hold up a tiny little size of pants, of jeans, and put them on, and you can like pull them out a little bit. They're not even tight. So the last pair of jeans that I bought, and it seems like even now where my weight's not coming off quickly, it seems like even now I will buy a size of jeans and just a month later they're already big. So I may not be losing pounds, but I must be losing inches, I guess, because my clothes, my sizes have gone down quicker than my weight, that's for sure. So the last pair of jeans that I bought, which I try to just get one. Anyway, the last pair of jeans that I bought were a size 4, and I wasn't a size 8, and they were pretty big. So I went to the store to get a size 6, and I thought, well, let me just try a size 4, because maybe that'll save me having to come back and waste money on a pair of jeans. So I tried on the size 4, and they fit me perfectly. In fact, they were, I wouldn't say a little loose, but they fit me perfectly. And I'm just in disbelief. Talk about an NSV, knowing that you can fit into a pair of size 4 jeans. Then I went to Old Navy because I have been wearing my extra large leggings. I still wear my extra large leggings, like just around the house. They're so baggy, but they're comfy still, and it's not like they just fall off of me completely, so I can sleep in them and things like that. But I have some medium leggings that are fitting me. They fit me well, but I really wanted some snugger leggings as the fall comes in, so I can wear them with like tunics and boots, things like that. And so we went to Old Navy, and I grabbed 2 small leggings. And I thought, well, what if they don't fit me? I don't know. I still, you just can't wrap your head around the fact that you can fit into these sizes. Well, I came home and I put one on, and I opened the package, and even though the package says small, the little wrapper around it, it just said small, but it was a pair of extra small leggings in there, which if you read the back for the sizes to determine what size, an extra small is for a size 0 to 2. And I thought, I felt like I was holding up like little baby pants. I was like, oh man, I'll keep these because maybe one day they'll fit me, but I know these are not going to fit me now. Well, I put them on just in case, and they fit me fine. They fit perfectly. I wore them all day. They were perfectly fine. They probably fit me exactly how leggings should fit you. So, and the small fit great too, but yeah, so extra small pants. It was just like, they're leggings, but still, it was just crazy. And all my shirts, I went shopping and got quite a bit of shirts recently, or clothes recently, and I was grabbing all the mediums and everything to bring back to the dressing room, and I had to go back and I'd get the smalls, and I was like, oh, these don't even fit. So I was getting all extra small shirts. Pretty much now, if there's an extra small available, that's the size I'm going to grab. It's just crazy. When you've been overweight your whole life, that's my biggest NSV, is just shock and disbelief that I'm fitting into these size clothes. But just your overall feeling, I feel amazing. I honestly didn't feel bad before, not really, but little things, like I'm just so flexible. Like I'll never forget being able to sit down on the floor and I was doing something like putting a piece of furniture together or something with my husband, and I was sitting with my legs crossed, and like my legs were completely crossed, like crisscross applesauce, or however you describe, you sit with your legs crossed on the floor. And I was just like, oh wow, I can get both legs actually under me. Like, I'm just so flexible. That's how I just sit in my office chair all day. I just sit like with my legs crossed in the chair, and I'm just tiny and fit in the chair, and it's just weird. It's a great feeling, but just being so flexible and being able to run up and down the stairs several times and I'm not at all out of breath, things like that. Not that I was crazy out of breath before. I wasn't that bad, but it's definitely a difference. It's a great feeling. And then like being able to like put my foot up in the chair just to reach down and paint my toenails, just little things, so flexible. It's funny. But another thing is we went going back and forth to Nashville trying to find a new house, which I'll try to do I think I'm going to do a house tour because we did move. Like I said, we sold our house and we've moved right outside of Nashville. So I'm going to do kind of an update video with a house tour, so that's exciting. So that's coming. But when we were moving or trying to find a house in Nashville, we stayed in a hotel, and I got out of the shower and I used the hotel towel, which in the past I was like, you might as well have handed me a hand towel to try to wrap around my body. Like, I'm like, okay, yeah, this is doing a whole lot. But it completely wrapped around me like a beach towel used to wrap around me. I was like, oh my word. I peeked my head out. I was telling my husband, I was like, so the hotel towel fits all the way around me now. So little things like that, it's just weird, and it's a good feeling. One other thing, and if you've been through this surgery, you will definitely understand this, but when you have a problem with food and overeating, and just food kind of controls you, and just where you tell yourself you should stop, but you don't want to stop, so you don't. This surgery does not at all fix that. I still sit down and I'm eating something and I'm like, I shouldn't be eating this. Amy, you said you were going to control your carbs today. You still do that. And I know everybody has days where you eat junk food sometimes. That's not really what I'm talking about, but I still have those moments where I still feel like, no, you don't need that snack. And then I'll go get it anyways. And I'm like, I should have more control than that. But I do feel different now. I don't know. I do feel like I have more control. I feel like I have the ability. Sometimes I'll sit down and I'll eat a cookie or something and some chips, and I'll be feeling just so down on myself, and I'm like, why did I do that? I should not have eaten that. But then, I just feel like I'm going to go look in the mirror and all that 100 pounds is going to be right back on me. But now I feel like, no, I'm going to wake up tomorrow. Yeah, I enjoyed that. No, yeah, I enjoyed this snack, and tomorrow I'm going to do better. I will. And I trust that I'm going to do better. Whereas before, I didn't have any trust in myself, and I pretty much knew I wouldn't do any better as much as I told myself that I would. So that's different now. I do feel more in control, and not completely. I don't feel like that will ever be completely gone, but I do feel a lot more in control now, so that's a good feeling. So I have a meeting coming up. I think it's this Thursday, Wednesday or Thursday, coming up with my dietitian, and we're, I hope, going to talk about what macros I need to stick to maintain my weight, which, like I said, I still want to get to my goal weight first before I change over to that. But I do want, during that meeting, I want her to update me on what I should be sticking to maintain my weight. So that'll be probably my next update for you all, is just let you know what she said for me to stick to, because I know that's always curious to, because it's usually a pretty good increase in carbs and calories and everything. It's kind of a crazy thought, but yeah, so I'll update you on that next. I'm definitely curious to get that information as well. So, of course, there are a million positive sides to this surgery. Obviously, losing 100 pounds, there are so many huge things that I could go on and on and on and on about, just being so amazing. But there are downsides to this surgery, definitely. And I am so blessed and so fortunate. I have not had many. And I know some people have terrible side effects to the surgery, terrible downsides to the surgery, including death. I mean, it can happen, obviously, but I've been very blessed to not have that many. But I've had some, and I'll tell you the downsides for me over this past year. Of course, hair loss. I've probably lost, I would say, about 50% of my hair. I am fine with where my hair is. It's actually coming back in big time. In fact, the new growth is kind of weird and hard to deal with, but it's not even that bad. I'm not even complaining about my hair loss because I prayed that it would be kind of more an overall hair loss, which is exactly what happened. So I didn't have literal bald patches all over my head, because some people do, and that's okay. You know, it's still worth it, but I just prayed that, you know, that wouldn't happen, and it didn't, and I feel very fortunate about that. But it's definitely thicker because it's growing in, so it's thicker up here on top than it is on the bottom. But it's okay. Along the way, I've like figured out how to style it, how to take care of it. It is what it is. Definitely, though, my hair has changed dramatically, but that is okay. I'm fine with where that is, but it's definitely a negative. Another thing, a lot of people have, you know, a lot of excess skin. I do. It's not horrible. It's definitely a self-conscious thing. My stomach is okay. It's not that terrible. I would never consider surgery to fix the, well, I don't want to say never, but I would probably not ever consider the surgery to fix my stomach. It's really not terrible. My arms definitely make me kind of self-conscious. They are not the best. They're also not the worst. It's not horrible. But it's kind of a self-conscious thing. I also have not worked out much at all to try to tone anything there. So maybe one day, hopefully, that's something I'll get in there and try to work on. And then my other big thing is the top of my thighs. They are not attractive. So that's something that, you know, wearing shorts and stuff like that, I really haven't done much of, because I just don't love the way it looks. I could get a little bit longer of shorts and it probably would cover it, and I have worn shorts sometimes, but it's just not my favorite part. But that's okay. You know, that's a downside, but that's okay. I deal with it. Not terrible. I have been lucky enough to not have many medical problems. I take my vitamins. I don't take any other medications. I did have a low vitamin A at one point. I need to get that rechecked, but I haven't had to take medication for acid reflux. I've not had one day after the surgery. I really didn't have it before surgery either, but of acid reflux. I know that can be a side effect, especially with the sleeve. But I haven't had to take any medications for that. And then about a little over a month ago, right before we were moving here, and it was the last weekend before our move, and I had so much to do, I got this terrible pain in my stomach, and I thought it was gas, like trapped gas pain, because about maybe an average of once a month since my surgery, that may be too much or too little, I'm not sure, but on average, maybe around once a month since my surgery, I would get gassy, like trapped gas type pain, and that can hurt. I mean, but then the Gastric strips, they took care of it. I mean, I would take it and I would feel a lot better. So it was fine. Maybe one night, one night actually I had to leave a restaurant because I was hurting pretty bad. So that was a pretty bad night, but it would go right away. It wasn't like a thing that lasted, but this pain, I thought it was the trapped gas pain again. And my dad was so sweet, and he brought me some Gas-X from the store because my husband was out of town, and I laid down and I thought, okay, it's going to get better. But the next morning, it was still there, and it was like a burning pain right where I knew my stomach was. And I thought, gosh, I don't know. So after about 24 hours of constantly having this pain, and it seemed to be getting a little worse, I called my surgeon's office, and I thought, you know, being a nurse, I was like doing research, and I was just like, oh gosh, what could this be? I was thinking ulcer, or diverticulitis, or appendicitis, all this stuff. I was like, oh my gosh, I don't have time for this. I'm moving the next weekend, and I had to pack up my whole house. So I called my surgeon's office, and I spoke with my surgeon's nurse, who is amazing. A couple times I've had to call there, and she's just taking care of it over the phone each time. You know, a lot of times doctor's offices, and it's no fault of their own, but you call and they're like, nope, just go to the emergency room, get checked out. That's what we have to tell you to do, because if we tell you wrong, then they're held liable. But, and I would never blame anybody for saying that, of course, but she doesn't do that, you know, not in my two circumstances. She said, you know, I really think that this is acid related, and I think if you just take some over-the-counter Prilosec and call me Monday, if it, you know, let me know how it's doing. So I started the Prilosec on Friday, and I took it twice a day, And by Monday, I could tell a huge improvement. And Prilosec doesn't work super quickly, but by Monday it was working, and that pain, it went away. So by the time we moved, I was going to start taking Prilosec routinely, but they have long-term effects like weakening of your bones, osteoporosis, things like that. So I decided not to. I thought maybe this is just a fluke. The stress maybe was related with the acid flaring up and causing that pain because I was stressed about moving maybe. So I did not continue Prilosec and didn't have any other problems. And then about a week and a half ago, about exactly a month later, it came back. And I was like, oh no. So I just started the Prilosec and it went away again. So now I'm just going to continue taking the Prilosec because it's worth it to not have to deal with that pain, because it's pretty bad pain. I mean, I have to go lay down. It's bad pain. So I'm just going to keep taking the Prilosec. So that's definitely a negative thing, but I'm getting through that. I was at my worst point with that pain. I was thinking, do I regret this surgery because of this pain? And I thought, no, not at all. Like, if it weren't that, I would have other terrible side effects. I mean, I was diabetic, all this stuff, you know, so I would have other things to worry about if I hadn't lost 100 pounds. So, you know, I deal with things as they come, but so far I haven't had that many things to deal with, and I'm very blessed. So that was several things to update you guys on. It's been an amazing year. It's been so different, and just your whole life really does change, but in a good way and not too bad. I mean, I feel normal. I can go somewhere and I just feel normal. I don't know, but it's amazing. If y'all are contemplating this, I know if you're anything like me, doing this research, watching these YouTube videos of other people's experiences, that was the biggest help to me. But me sitting here 1 year later, would I regret, or do I regret doing this surgery? There are zero regrets. This is one of the best decisions I have ever made in my entire life. I know that this has made me so much healthier and happier. I love that I did this. I wouldn't take anything back about it. So just so you know, if you're going through your surgery and you've already had your surgery, maybe you're right after, and it's, in my opinion, the hardest part, where you're on those liquids and it's so hard. Just think, this too shall pass. You're going to get to this point where you're sitting here a year later and you're so excited about your results. So it will fly by. Enjoy every little milestone that comes along in the next year, because it's so much fun experiencing all of these. So good luck to anybody out there going through this or trying to make up their mind. Please comment down below if you have any questions for me, or if there's anything I can do to help you in your journey. I am so happy to help. So definitely comment down below. Or direct message me. You can find me on Instagram at Faith, Life, and Beauty, or I'll just have it at the beginning of my video or down in the description below about how you can find me on Instagram. You can send me a direct message. So yeah, any questions, please let me know. I have friends all the time messaging me about this, which is so fun. I mean, I love spreading the news of this surgery because it's changed my life, so I'd be happy to help somebody else change theirs. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed my 1 year celebration update for my Surgiversary. It's so exciting. And like I said, I'll come to you pretty soon about the update about what my dietitian said, what I need to stick to maintain this weight loss. So again, thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe if you're not already subscribed so you can see my new updates. I'm jumping back into YouTube happily and getting back into my blog, which is faithlifeandbeauty.com. I look forward to seeing you guys soon, and I hope you have a great rest of the day.